Listen to me. If there was a wise man who would ever think of this, they would say in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. For I am the man himself.
What is going on and how y'all doing this late Sunday afternoon? This is the Club of the Man 1993. And despite, of course, still being a tad bit jet lagged from daylight savings time beginning, we are here live for my live review of Friday's episode of Friday Night SmackDown. Took place again on Friday, March 8th, 2024, and it took place at the American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas. We are just, again, a few weeks away from WrestleMania 40, which gives us plenty of time to get 8 more subscribers on the channel to make it to 2,000 subscribers. That's right. The countdown has got a little closer. When I logged on this afternoon to get ready for the stream, we were at 1,992. Of course, we get to 1,993. That'll kind of be a special number because that's not this number included in the channel. That's also the year I was born as well. So that would be a cool milestone to kind of like recognize for a second if we do get to it. We have a few things to take care of, talk about on this episode of SmackDown. As a show itself, I would say, is it just me, or does it feel like, I don't know, because if it's a longer show, and just the writing's been better, but why does it feel like Raw seems to have more of the superior show than SmackDown, in my opinion? I still could say I've been enjoying Raw a little more than SmackDown, to be honest. I mean, this show did do stuff. It did enough to increase my interest for most of the matches. There is a direction, which again, I appreciate. There's a direction. There's a story. Everything, for the most part, felt like it had a purpose. There's just a few nitpicks I gotta pick. First, my patience is really running thin for one feud, and if you're sure you know what I'm talking about, that just seems like it's barely getting any progression towards WrestleMania. And to me, it's one of the bigger matches on the card, that should be on the card, but I feel like it's going nowhere. We'll talk about that. Nothing happened with it on the show, but we'll talk about that. I also am trying to get 2 hashtags going for a certain person that I feel deserves a little more love than what she deserves. So we'll do that as well. Tyler guessed also the feud I'm going to briefly rant on also. Good job, buddy. I do see also he said in 2 days it's his birthday. Oh, well, happy birthday, Tyler. I hope you have a great day, buddy. Hopefully however we'll determine, hopefully it's a great start to another great year for you, Tyler. He also thought the show was nothing also, he said too as well. Which, like I said, was it a great show? No. But there was enough to keep me at least intrigued. But also, I do gotta talk about, I thought the execution for that main event segment was a tad bit messy. Was it a bad promo? No. But I thought that the execution wasn't quite there. Because, we'll get to it in a second. Tyler's going to be 26. Nice. 26 was well, I was 26 whenever the pandemic happened. So I can't completely say that was a great year for me. because pandemic and I lost my uncle, but not a horrible year, but around the time where I think things started to fall into place for me. So hopefully 26 is that time for you as well, Tyler, where things do begin to go in a great direction for you as well, my friend. But yeah, just a couple little things I want to nitpick, but I say again, everything wasn't bad. It wasn't like, oh my gosh, you know what I mean? It was just like, okay, and we'll go from there. It should be a solid review, I think so. But we're going to get rolling. Again, Tyler's in the live chat. Everybody else who joins in the live chat, make sure you leave your thoughts as well. Oh, also, because I do see it on here as well in the notes of our article on the side, congratulations also to former WWE superstars Rick Moss and Emma, who tied the knot this past week in Hawaii. And, of course, Dominic Mysterio as well tied the knot as well with his longtime girlfriend of 12 years. Austin Theory and Damian Priest were both in the wedding party. For Emma and Riddick, I'm assuming Summer Rae was in the wedding party, because I think her and Summer are really good friends in dear life. But yeah. So just want to get those few things out there. Anyways, we're gonna roll to the show. So again, the big thing that was highlighting the show was the fact that we were going to get the obvious answer we were going to get from Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes about The Rock's counter offer for a tag match at WrestleMania 40. We had that at the end of the show, but throughout the night we got things about security showing, security showing guarding both locker rooms and whatnot. We had all there, and people arriving, and all this and that, and so forth. Anyways, we started off with the... Oh, here's something else to kind of rip on a tad. We started off the show with the 125-day United States champion, and has only had one title defense, Logan Paul. Logan Paul comes out. So he comes in, talks about his history in Dallas. He talks about his greatest things in and out of the ring. And then he says he focuses on what a draw he is. On screen, tickets sold, and big money deals made. And he's the secret sauce, and business is booming. He may even say WWE is in its prime. He has a surprise for us all, and he reveals that the WWE has partnered with Prime Hydration to be the first ever center ring sponsor, starting at WrestleMania and every pay-per-view from then on. So it looks like every single pay-per-view is going to have that stupid Prime logo in the middle of the ring. God. It just continues. Is Logan Paul a talented wrestler? Yes. Is he a great asset for the WWE? Yes. But, like I said, Logan has a freaking history. He doesn't have the best, again, the person himself, Logan Paul, just leaves a bad taste in my mouth from things I've heard between things about scamming. He's basically spoke straight out about how he thinks of things, how he dissed on some Christianity people. When a friend of his is Christian, he dissed on him about that. Which again, I don't care if you have different views religiously or politically, but don't diss on someone just because of that, especially if they're your friend. The stuff with the photos he took with the animals and whatnot, he's left a bad taste in my mouth. So WWE kind of opening this door, making him more of a prominent feature, having his drink, his freaking be a center stage sponsor. I don't know how I feel about that. To me, I feel okay, he doesn't have the best history, but yet you're opening up the door a little bit more for him. A special attraction, yes. a main attraction like that, I'm not the biggest fan of that. So, yeah, that kind of left a sour taste in my mouth a little bit. But anyways, he brings out KSI. And they have a moment, wanting to have, a picture moment. But then Randy Orton's music started playing. And obviously, Logan Paul did cost Randy Orton in the chamber. So Randy's going to get his revenge. Well, Logan's looking around. And then Randy slides into the ring right behind Logan. Goes to RKO Logan. But Logan realizes it and he blocks him. KSI, though, who just had his back turned the entire time, looked like an idiot. Orton turns him around, hits an RKO on him instead. I mean, I barely know KSI. I don't know who the heck he is. I know he's just a buddy of Logan's. I'm pretty sure he's like another YouTuber or whatever he is, but I don't know much about him, so I can't really, lead my thoughts and opinions on him. But, yeah, Logan, KSI does sell pretty well. Yeah, I thought when he took that frog splash at WrestleMania last year, and I also think he sold that RKO pretty good. So, taking a bump, fine, whatever. Anyways, though, afterwards, Randy then drags KSI into the floor right above the Prime logo. And then he grabs a Prime bottle, takes a sip, and he pours it right on top of KSI's crotch. And I cracked up. I'm like, yep, that's where it belongs, but ugh. Anyways, so sorry about the weird moment there. Anyways, he then has a tag match with Kevin Owens facing Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. Because Kevin Owens, that's the only people Kevin Owens can fight anymore. It's Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. Orton and KO win with after Owens hit a stunner on Waller, alley-ooped into a RKO. After the match, though, Logan Paul comes out of nowhere, jumps back in the ring, and hits them both from behind. He beats down Kevin Owens before pulling out the brass knucks and going to punch Randy Orton. But instead, Logan ducks Randy countered the punch, was able to get the brass knucks off Logan. He went to hit Logan with the brass knucks, but then Logan ducks and he almost hit his tag partner, Kevin Owens. So I guess it's going to be a triple threat. Because I think at this point, if we would have had Braun Breaker involved, as I predicted, for making a fatal 4-way, we would have had him do something by now. I still have this feeling, even though again, I would like it to be, I would love for the Intercontinental title match to be Chad Gable and Gunther, but it looks like I shouldn't say bad feeling, but I just want Gable so bad. But I still think they're going to give it to Sammy. Because Sammy Sammy's getting more of a highlight story. Gable's getting, spurts. So I don't think we're going to make that into a multi-man match. So I guess it's a triple threat. Logan Paul versus Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. I'm pretty sure they're going to keep the U.S. title on Logan a little bit longer because of the Prime sponsorship. Eventually, though, he's going to drop it to LA Knight. They still should have done that match. And had Logan drop it. Again, 125 days as champion, and he's only defended that title once. Seriously? Come on. So, that happens. This was actually interesting as well. We have Kayla Braxton having an interview with Bayley backstage. Bayley admits she's hanging on by a thread. She's never imagined she'd be in the position she's in. And she did question, though, how much of Damage Control, though, was even real. Yes, she admits she made a lot of enemies over the past few years, and she did a lot of those things to get attention and to get to the top. But she would have done anything for Damage Control. She loved Damage Control, and now it's all backfired because now she's all alone. I mean, it's true. Who does she have? She built Damage Control with all her heart, and she'll do anything to break them. So basically, it's I gotta destroy what I create is what it's turned into. But then we get this. So we have Naomi backstage watching the interview on the monitor when Bianca Belair rolls up. And Naomi admits that she feels bad for Bayley. And Bianca's like, why? And Naomi said, she knows what it's like when your group of girls fall apart and it all falls down. I'm assuming she's either referring to Team Bad or the Funkadactyls. I more so feel like the Funkadactyls. The Team Bad kind of split up like quietly, I felt like. I can't remember the story of Team Bad splitting up, but Funkadactyls, they split up on screen, I remember. But anyways, Bianca tells Naomi that you would feel differently, though, if you were here this whole time and got targeted like Damage Control, by Damage Control. Which is true, and again, continuity. I love it. But Naomi won't budge. So Bianca said, the best I can do is wish her luck. But she goes, I don't have any sympathy for her because she's got what he got. And again, she's got a point. So, that's interesting. A lot of people are saying that this could be something to help plant a seed. Because again, I thought when they originally had the Pride and which is Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits be heels, I thought that is the and when Bianca and they formed it while Bianca was off for a few months last summer, and I'm like, that is the perfect way to get Bianca into the heel character, because again, she needs to be a heel. And but now this kind of could be the thing that plants the seed, kind of like a Tommaso Ciampa Johnny Gargano thing, where Bayley builds the sympathy, and then Bianca just loses her mind. It's like, well, everybody wants her after all she's done, but then there's me who's done everything right, and this is what I get. So it's a long-term thing. Like I said, Bayley is still building that sympathy. Like, the idea of her being all alone, and as of now, well, maybe Naomi, but not really having any friends is something. I tell you what, though, what would have been funny if we weren't having big business this coming week in AEW. This would have been, well, here's the thing, though. I was going to say this would have been an interesting way to bring back Sasha and kind of have Bayley's group be like her, Naomi, and Sasha. But then again, there is history with Sasha and Bayley also. But it somehow could have brought it all back. So that was the interesting segment there. We have Bobby Lashley take on Karrion Kross. The match ends in a DQ because Authors of Pain get involved, and so do the Street Profits, and then Scarlett and B-Fab get involved. I'm just more so waiting for them to make this match official with them, because I predicted as well too. Since it's been going on for a while, I'm pretty sure we're going to be doing a 6-man tag at WrestleMania between these two. They just got to announce it. Or, of course, with B-Fab kind of getting a little more physical in this one, with getting involved, could be a mixed tag. I still think they need to make it like Extreme Rules or like Street Fight, no holds barred, no DQ. Add a stipulation to it. It's been going on for a while, so why not? I still hope Karrion Kross and the Final Testament win that, though, because they really need no momentum. I'm sorry, it just feels like Karrion Kross is just there. I mean, yes, somewhat the same with Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits too, but Karrion Kross especially, I still think what hurt Karrion Kross is Vince coming back. Because again, you listen to his interviews and his chats and whatnot. The guy has a creative mind. So I still think that, he deserves a shot, but again, there's no room for him. But again, if there's no room for him, though, why is he then taking pins? So I feel like the Final Testament needs this more than Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits. I think Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits, they could have a direction after this. They could go back to being heels, as I think they should be as a group. Although there have been a ton of people turning heel lately, or people who need a heel turn or are teasing a heel turn. So may need to back off on the heel turns, but who knows? We got that. We get a recap of Rey Mysterio's return the previous week, and then Dragon Lee ran into Electro Lopez and Santos Escobar, and they make fun of him for looking up to Rey Mysterio. And then we have Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo mock him too. Santos tells Dragon Lee that Rey Mysterio and LWO are in the past, dead and gone. Legado del Fantasma is the future, and Dragon Lee is nothing. And then Lee shoves them down and mock him and leave. They set up for a match later on the show with him and Angel Garza. We also, of course, get some hype as this weekend then they announced, well, I already briefly addressed Paul Heyman and Bull Nakano for my Raw review, but they also announced on Friday that the newest entries, which have apparently been put together by both Triple H and The Rock, is U.S. Express's Barry Windham and Mike Rotunda. Of course, that's very interesting, of course, for sure, and I'm wondering if they're going to have Bray Wyatt get in there as well. Because, again, I still think they should have ducked Bray Wyatt this year, too, with this being the first Hall of Fame ceremony since his passing. But, interesting, though, that they put his father in also. That would be a unique way to do it, honestly, have both his father and him get in at the same time. That would be pretty cool. All right, here's also a moment where I kind of rant a little, but it's more so like a come on, guys, let's get something going here with this. We didn't have a match with Tiffany Stratton and Mia Yim, Michin, whatever you want to call her. Tiffany Stratton takes the win as they're obviously setting her up for bigger things. She is definitely getting over. She is popular. She's great in the ring. Again, I keep saying she does have to work on the microphone skills, though. Again, she hasn't... I don't think I've heard her on the mic, though, since she cut that cringe promo on Raw right before Elimination Chamber. But I can't deny that she's on fire right now. Just has to get the speaking, well, the microphone skills, and I think she's in prime position to get a good title shot for the next year or so. She's great. And this has nothing to do with Tiffany Stratton, this little rant. But they even had a backstage exclusive afterwards. How Mia Yim is saying something has to change. And I gotta say this too. Is it just me, or is the WWE afraid to give Mia Yim a shot? I'm not saying give her a world title shot, but just she doesn't have to be built on an undefeated streak. But I feel like she should be getting a little more of a serious direction. At the beginning of the year, she won a couple matches. She got booked in a title shot with Io Sky. Cool. I knew she wasn't going to win, but it's you're making her feel relevant. If you would, there's some people that may not get they may not capitalize in the main event scene, but they're booked at least a way where they're relevant, and that any time you could put her out in a title, in a championship picture, and you would still feel there is a chance that she may win. And also the fact that Mia's technically a part of a group. She's still with the OC. What's going on with them and AJ Styles right now, I don't know as a group what's going on, because Mia's still here. AJ's a heel going after LA Knight. And the Gallows and Anderson apparently are doing a few matches in NXT. So they're kind of all over the place. But why does it feel like that Mia Yim is not getting a shot? Again, this is the same woman who basically got the Cedric Alexander treatment in the second Mae Young Classic. The fans were chanting for WWE to sign her. And they did. She had a solid run in NXT. I think they could have definitely given her a brief title reign at some point. But they didn't. Which, okay, not everybody has to win a title. But, of course, they hurt her by bringing her up in Retribution as Reckoning. God released her and brought her back. And again, like when she came back and she posed in the ring with that kendo stick with the OC, I'm like, she looks like a badass. I have made the idea, maybe build her up to win the Rumble and have her in Rhea have a match at Mania or something like that. Well, that was last year before Charlotte got involved and everything else changed. But anyways, but yeah, Mia's talented. So I don't get why WWE have her. I mean, I get it. Somebody's got to be the one to take the pins right now. But why Mia Yim? Like, why can't you at least... Yeah, she could be someone who puts someone over. But also, like, keep her in a position where she's still reliable. And that you can believably see her winning the women's title. Again, you don't have to put the championship on her. But again, like I said, I just feel like that she's at the bottom of the card. And they're not giving her much of a shot. So that's why I get hashtag give Mia Yim a shot or give Michin a shot. Whichever way you want to refer to it. Again, I respect the name Michin because it's a name that Mia wanted. I mean, I prefer Mia Yim still. But Michin, again, it's a name of respect. So that's why I have both hashtags out there. Hashtag give Mia Yim a chance. Hashtag give Michin a chance. Give her a chance. Like again, I feel like the match she had with Io a couple weeks ago was great. The match at the beginning of the year, the match she had in the qualifying match for the Chamber against Bianca, great match. And this was good too, but this felt like a match where Mia was out there to job. Like, I think right before Tiffany hit her moonsault, she hit Mia with like a weak looking move. And it looked like Mia literally just like, it didn't look realistic. It looked like Mia kind of just like set herself up, like purposely set herself up to be hit with the moonsault. Just my opinion. But I'm hoping something's got to change does lead to something. Doesn't have to be a heel turn. Like I said, a lot of people are teasing heel turns. And before you know it, there's going to be no baby faces. So they might have to cool off on the heel turns. Like I said, they can keep Mia as a baby face, just like give her a different direction. So hopefully, she does get her shot. I think she deserves it. Speaking of the OC, we have this segment where AJ Styles is explaining why on earth did he travel across the world to attack LA Knight? Which, realistically, yes. Who goes across the world to beat someone up for like a minute? But anyways, he says LA Knight acts like he owns the place, but he actually doesn't belong in the same locker room as him. He thought the shtick was funny until LA Knight stole his momentum. And he's just the man to put him in his place. And then we have a segment where LA Knight was watching the segment on a TV monitor. And he takes his chair and he starts smashing the TV with it, telling AJ he'll see him next week. So basically it was like LA Knight 1, TV 0. Okay. I mean, I don't expect much more of a story to this video. We kind of gotten the gist since AJ came back. He's targeted Knight because, again, he feels like LA Knight is just getting in his way. So we got that. Then we had a backstage with the new Catch Republic's Tyler Bate playing 2K24. Pete Dunne rolls up, looks at him. He's like, what are you doing? And then Bate gets off, goes to talk to Nick Aldis. And then Pete Dunne pulls up the controls, like shrugs it off, and he starts to play as well. Dragon Lee had a match with Angel Garza. He won by a Hurricanrana. Afterwards, they then beat him down, and they announced that next week Rey Mysterio will be there live. Probably to set up his match with Santos at WrestleMania. Cool. We have a backstage with Damage Control talking about where Dakota claims that she not Bayley, was always the brains of Damage Control. And Asuka and Kairi say if she was so smart, she would have seen it coming. And Io says Bayley was never part of their vision. And it's been her era since day one. Nick Aldis also goes then to get Cody Rhodes for the main event segment. But no one was there. And security doesn't even know where he's gone as well. Sort of like, what the... Okay, so now we get to the main event. The closing segment was the response from Cody and Seth. First off, the execution of this segment was awkward. Because we literally have 15 minutes of entrances. Because the Roman Reigns and The Rock's entrance, because they have to do them separately. They can't do them all, the Bloodline together. Has to do The Rock separately. Had their entrances. And then when Cody's music hit, both Cody and Seth were making their way through the crowd. Kind of like how the Shield used to. Of course, they never addressed the Shield, but that's what they did. And we went to commercial break. So basically, we had a commercial, 15 minutes of entrances, and then finally, the promo. Cody Rhodes acknowledges the bad blood, but says he feels lucky to stand in the ring, and that the four of them should take a moment to feel the moment in a sold-out American Airlines Center in Dallas. He tells Rock he's heard his challenge and the stipulations, but he has to ask, though, does he have the authority to make that happen? He's only asking because he believes last week he acknowledged Roman as the tribal chief. And then basically saying that if Roman claims he can't do things, why can you if you're letting Roman be the man bigger than you? We saw the hesitation last week whenever Roman asked The Rock to acknowledge him as his tribal chief. Like, we're doing this, but I call the shots around here. Which obviously that's another thing set in stone for when The Rock does turn on Roman, and we do set up for that match. Happen at WrestleMania 41 next year. We see the clear path. Roman and his cousin Dwayne, since I like to imitate the way CM Punk says, you and your buddy Dwayne, then tells Cody to shut his mouth. And then he also tells Seth, you shut up too. He has some gospel for his punk ass right here and right now. The Rock acknowledged Roman as a tribal chief because it's what family does. And they're family. He then reminds him of the stakes for the tag match WrestleMania, Night 1. If Cody and Seth win, Night 2 will be Bloodline free. But if they lose, it's Bloodline rules. And, of course, they immediately accept. Which, I gotta ask this question. Again, does anyone else kind of want to see it be Bloodline rules? I actually did a poll on Twitter. And I think on YouTube, too. But I'm not going to pull it up. On Twitter, though, we got 10 votes on it. 70% did say they want to see Bloodline rules. 30% said they want to see Bloodline barred. I want to see Bloodline rules, honestly, because I feel like it's going to be a chaotic match. And, see all this come back to them with, the history and whatnot. With, have, people equalize everyone else and then The Rock cost Roman. Which, honestly, that would probably be the way to have the setup when Roman turns on The Rock. But then again, also, you don't want to have Cody lose with help. You want to have him win clean, but there's got to be some sort of, a setup or something. And also, I'm pretty sure The Rock didn't come back just to lose multiple matches, because he's not beating Roman. I'm sorry, when the match happens, I still don't think he's going to beat Roman. I don't think it's going to happen. But then also, the reason why I feel like it should be Bloodline barred also, though, I mean, I still kind of like the idea of Bloodline rules. But the reason why I'm questioning it, because, well, if the whole story is that Roman is taking everything, Cody's taking everything away from Roman, then why would he not get the Bloodline barred? So, I don't know. I still kind of want to say Bloodline rules. But then the story wouldn't quite make sense because, well, again, Cody's trying to take everything away from Roman. Them beating the Bloodline would be kind of taking everything away from Roman. Again, it's like destroying all his Horcruxes. They're all gone, and he's got nothing left. He's completely mortal. But anyways, so they immediately accept. Seth tells him to shut the hell up, and we don't need to remind about the stakes. We know it. But you listen up, Mr. Midlife Crisis, as he called The Rock. He says, you had your time, and he damn sure can't have theirs. And the answer is yes. Roman then calls Cody an idiot for letting Seth speak for him, and calls Seth a cross-dresser, which I know got some controversy, which is the first of two things that caused some fan outrage. And then Roman tells Cody if they lose night one, his story will be over. And then The Rock ups it, saying if Cody loses at WrestleMania, well, in his night 2 match, then as long as Roman is champion, he will never get another title shot ever again. And then he goes on this rant about how their families are looking down at them and how Dusty is looking down at him. And then he mentions Cody's sister, a cheerleader for the Dallas Cowboys, and his brother, Goldust, a future Hall of Famer. And that he mentions that the only reason why he is 20 years younger than them, than his siblings, is because Cody was a mistake, which that caused a lot of backlash, including a person who also wasn't happy about this was John Huber. John Huber's wife, Amanda, formerly Brody Lee, of course, his wife, well, Luke Harper's wife, rest in peace, John Huber. His wife took exception to that. She didn't like that. And then I got worried because as this rant's going on, they show the ending graphic. And I see it's 9:59. I'm like, oh, come on. And it just ends with Cody slapping The Rock. Just like The Rock did at the WrestleMania press conference. And then... But then it goes off the air when The Rock just looked at Cody and smiled. And that was it. Like, they should have gone at blows. Like, they weren't showing, like, a very intense, like, pull apart or whatnot. They should have gone to blows from what I saw. I didn't like how they cut it off when they did. I mean, I get it, time constraints, but still. So, I mean, don't get me wrong, the segment was still good, but again, it was just like the execution of it was just odd. You had, which first off, again, as I said too, I get The Rock's his own legend, own separate entity, but if he's a part of the Bloodline, you could have saved a few minutes and had The Rock come out with the entire Bloodline. So, that was weird. But then, of course, also, the last thing to kind of, like, rant on a little bit, and again, I didn't hate SmackDown, I did give it a B-, but one other thing that didn't happen that, like, we just got to get to the point with, Jimmy and Jay still, they teased this match back at SummerSlam. They've had so many opportunities to further this story. They had him, Jimmy cost Jay and Cody the tag titles on Raw. They could have had, like, one of them eliminate the other at the Rumble. They didn't. I think the story was cooking until I think there was that one segment where Jay crashed SmackDown and went after Jimmy right after they cost the titles. But after that, next time you saw them both in the ring was when they were both starting the Rumble match. And even they barely did anything there. They halted on it. The next time they did anything was when Jay took on Gunther. And then only other time we had him come face to face is when he came out and cost him his match against Drew, but then he got chased off. Jimmy was on the show. We didn't even address it. Like, come on, like, get moving. The match is literally just a few weeks away, and honestly, if I'm being honest, at this point, with how much they've dragged their feet on this feud, it feels like it's the first of a series of matches. Like, it doesn't feel like a match that's been properly built to have a big kaboom at WrestleMania. It feels like it's going to be just like a B pay-per-view setup match now because they just dragged their freaking feet on this. Like I said, as much as I want to say, you know, they're getting what they want, both Jimmy and Jay have wanted to have a one-on-one match at WrestleMania. But the wait, as of now, I gotta say, just hasn't been worth it. I really don't think it's been worth it. Because again, they booked Jimmy like a chump. And when I thought they should have at least started to, like, you know, move forward, Rumble, they barely done anything. Like, what are you waiting for? This is one of the more anticipated matches people have been wanting to see. Like, other than Roman and Cody's rematch. This has been the match people have been screaming to see since last summer. And again, they're just not moving forward with a direction. Like, we know the match is happening at Mania, but it's like, get something moving with it. I don't get it. But at SmackDown, I gave it a B-. Like I said, everything felt like it had like a purpose to it, but same time there, I had some problems with it also. Give it a B-. It still left some intrigue. A lot of chat. What else we got here? Tyler said, is just me or is there too many heels right now? Which is what I said. There's a ton of heels and a ton of people teasing the heel direction. I completely agree. This tag match for Mania is going to be a mess. I think a mass, he said. Yeah, honestly, again, I'm more interested in I think the main event night 2 will be good with Cody and Roman part 2. The moment will be great. I'm more excited about that tag match, if anything, because I don't know who's going to win that tag match. Roman needs to lose, and Rhea needs to lose also at Mania. His problem with Rhea being Becky, it would be the same old shit. Also, Liv and Rhea don't need the belt. I don't know. Like I said, I love Becky. Don't get me wrong. But I still feel like they gotta give like that moment to someone else to be the person to dethrone a long reign. And I still think based off her history, give her more time to build a character. I still think it should be Liv. Like at SummerSlam. Like give Liv the summer to build up her character and have her dethrone Rhea at SummerSlam. But you want Becky, Tyler? Totally fine, man. And Asuka should be on her own. I seriously thought we were going to get that Asuka last year, but then that got screwed up. You know. But that's going to do it, guys. That's my review of SmackDown. Again, I gave it a B-. Hoping to get some more stuff done tonight. Maybe we'll see. But I do have, of course, I actually already did start the next Wolfenstein Let's Play. I may have 2 maps I may upload later on. I've also gotten a little more further and gained more of the new graphics done. So, like I said, hopefully those, I would say, I still want to try to get those done by WrestleMania. If not, if I can somehow get them done before, though, then I would probably try to release them for whenever we celebrate the 2,000 subscribers. But that's not even the promise I'll be able to get them done by then, because the momentum I have right now, there's no way I can get everything done in like a day with everything else I have going on. I did start working on Crumbly Woods for Roller Coaster Tycoon last night. I did not have a good start to that park, though. Trust me, I almost pulled the trigger because I was having a bad start. And I still have some baseball news as well I want to do too. But we'll hopefully get a few more things on the channel tonight. Again, make sure to keep hitting that subscribe button, guys. Again, we are 8 subscribers away from 2,000. Again, the WrestleMania match card, slowed down. I think it only has like 1.5 thousand now, I think it is. I was hoping to get to like bigger things on that, but it ain't happening, sadly. But yeah, again, just keep supporting the channel, guys. Thank you guys again, as always, for all you do. I'll definitely make sure to give a lot of people some thanks whenever we do celebrate the 2,000 subscribers. Again, the goal is to get to it by WrestleMania. And also, too, make sure to check out the last 2 maps also of the Return to Danger Let's Play as well. So, guys, what are your thoughts again on SmackDown and anything else going on? Gave it a B-. What are your thoughts again also about them just dragging their feet on the Jimmy and Jay storyline? And also, make sure to give hashtag Give Me a Yim or Give Me Chin a chance, whichever name you prefer to refer to her as. Get that trending. Mia Yim deserves a shot. And I also hope her husband's doing well too, because Keith Lee is home recovering from an injury that he has been dealing with since Grand Slam 2022. Dang. But make sure you guys get your thoughts down in the comments section below. Slap a like on the video. Subscribe for more content to come to the channel. And to be one of the last 8 on the road to 2,000 subscribers. Follow me on Twitter as well, at the Club of the Man 93. And also follow me on TikTok and Instagram at the Club of the Man 1993. Until then, guys, I'm checking out. I'll catch you guys all later. And do not forget, in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. For I am the man himself. And that is not just an opinion, my friends. That is a fact of life. Yeah!